Welcome back to the garage. We're on the road shaking down the Nissan today. Headed down to a new dyno shop I ran across. Dynamometer, dynameter, or something, whatever you call it. Dyno. Ran across it visiting some family lately. Shop wasn't there. The shop was there, but they weren't advertising that they had a dyno until last time I went by. So we're shaking it down after getting the oil out of the spark plug wells and setting the cam timing back to factory. Running pretty good. With all four pots banging, we're somewhere around 11.5 pounds of boost. Still not making 14, which is what the wastegate's rated for. But again, that's because I loosened up on the attachment point where it attaches to the wastegate on the turbo. I'll turn y'all around so you can see what we're doing. But probably get to that after I get to the shop and see what they've got going on over there. Hopefully they've got a dyno I can use. Hopefully it's not just an inertia machine, which most of them are, but we'll find out when we get there. Y'all stick around. Well, our little trip to the dyno shop was unsuccessful this time. The gentleman there that's supposed to be there that knows about the dyno was not there. Some of the guys there at the shop knew a little bit about it, but not a lot. They said they thought that it had a eddy brake on it, but weren't sure. So I left my phone number and name, and supposed to give me a call back probably Monday. They were headed out of town to do some racing this weekend. So I'm assuming all of their cars were boosted. I would say they probably got what's necessary to get this thing tuned, unless they're obviously tuning while they're at the track, which a lot of guys do. I guess we'll just go do some shaking down on it, make sure we're not getting any oil back in their spark plug wells, and basically just make sure we're still hitting on all four cylinders. So turn your guys around a little bit and we'll go do some shaking down. Not bad. Got a little sideways coming out of there. A lot more predictable with the helical differential, or torsion differential for the American guys running the Chevys and the Fords. Torque biasing switches from the slipping wheel to the gripping wheel, but as you can see, once they both slip, it just slips. At least it's more predictable than the open situation we had before tearing the engine apart, rebuilding it. At idle, we're starting to get a little lean. That's where the factory computer and the AEM fuel ignition controller are kind of fighting with each other. It takes a little bit of time for the factory ECU to kind of kick in, as it'll pull or add fuel as needed to try and maintain that stoichiometric 14.7 to 1 air fuel ratio at idle and while cruising. And when you look at long-term and short-term fuel trims, you get a better idea of how much over fuel or under fuel you actually are in that closed loop tuning. So I need to do a little adjusting on that, but that's something I'll get to. The main concern with doing these shakedowns and getting to the track and doing some time on it and getting to the dyno and doing some time on it is to get our boost tune dialed in. Right now, above 8 pounds of boost, we're pretty much running flat 10s, which is way too rich, probably leaving 20-30 horsepower on the table, and probably very similar in torque being left on the table at that air fuel ratio. But once we get those dialed in, either at the track, one, or on the dyno, two, or both, we'll definitely get on the dyno to tune our torque curve, see where that starts dropping off, and then back the timing back up or add a little timing back to it, just to be safe while we're out there on the road. Through the magic of YouTube, I've changed clothes, as you can see. Still out shaking down the Nissan. Reason for the clothes change, it's obviously a different day. I didn't want to bore you guys with too much riding around, shaking this thing down. We've done a total of about 400 miles though since the repair, and still seems to be dry in the oil plug wells, and it's pulling a lot harder through the entire rev range now than it was when we had those cams advanced 5 degrees on each side. But the car's running good. Like I said, still got a few tuning things we got to figure out. Either A, on the road again at our undisclosed location, B, on the dyno, still hadn't heard back from the guy at the dyno shop though, or C, out of the track. The only problem with doing it at the track here locally is it's only an 1/8 mile track, and I don't know if I've got enough power or enough track to launch it in first and then go straight to third for my power pool and data log to see what air fuel ratios are doing in those higher RPM ranges and higher boost ranges. But we'll get to that in one of these episodes. Until we do though, don't take no wooden nickels and be good. Somebody's got to. I'll see y'all later, alligators.